Today we're working on the interior of the white 33. We've got to fit a side mount power rail seat rail and our Cobra Imola S seat. Well, as you can see, we've got the seat fitted in the car. What I really like about the power rails, side mount seat rails, is that you can recess the seat down into the seat rail and get it into a very low position. So you can see here on these side mounts, we've got it in the lowest hole possible, which means the seat is really recessed down into the seat rail almost as low as it can go. We've still got to trim some of this plastic retainer here so that this sits flush. There's a mill in between here, so there's a small bit of movement in the seat. But what's stopping us going lower, and is a function of this Cobra Imola seat, is that it protrudes down below the lowest point on the seat. So you can see that there's a moulding here that protrudes down below the base of the seat, most likely for strength, and you can see we're right on the bottom there. It's touching on the brace of the seat rail, so we can't get the front any lower. In my experience with a Sparco Evo seat, it doesn't have this supporting form, so you can actually get the seat reasonably lower, probably about 15 mil, 20 mil lower than you can get this Sparco Imola seat. But even so, this seat's quite comfortable in the position that it is. It is raked rearwards, probably a little bit more than I would like, but it's still quite comfortable. We've also fitted the center console with our new suede handbrake boot. We've also got a suede handbrake boot for the shifter and a brand new OEM shift knob to go on there. We're also changing the wheel to a suede steering wheel that won't have any dish, and I have a padded center to comply with the road regulations. We've obviously going to have to space that out, so we're probably going to have to play that by ear and see what size spacer we might need to get the wheel in the right place. Even with this dish, the wheel's probably a little bit too far away for my liking. I can get my feet in the correct position, but the wheel's still probably 10 mil too far away, so we're going to have to look at spacing for that. We've still got the dash fascia to go back on. In this series car, the dash fascia's covered in a plasti-dip type material, and it started to deteriorate over time, so I've got to strip that material off and decide what I'm going to do with it, if we're going to get it carbon dipped, or if we're going to plasti-dip it, or cover it in vinyl, or paint it, or flock it, and there's multiple different things we can do to it. Path of least resistance is generally the one that I take, so we might try plasti-dipping it first and see what it looks like. If it comes up alright, then we'll just run with that. But I think ultimately getting it dipped, printed dipped, is probably the best long-term solution, but also the most costly. So we'll start stripping that and plasti-dip it, get it all back together and see what it looks like. So we've got the standard dash fascia here from Series 1, Series 1.5, and you can see that it's got this rubberized type coating on it, which has had different gauges and all sorts of things attached to it over the years, but it's also been nicked and scratched and looks a bit tardy, so I've been using some carby throttle body cleaner to essentially melt it off, and then just strip it back with some rags. So it seems to be working quite well. I'm going to have to brake clean it with some solvent because all the rubber is pitting on the surface, so it's going to be a bit of a pain to clean, but a lot easier than sanding it. And then I think I'll plasti dip it again because that's going to be the easiest, and see what it looks like. But flocking it or carbon dipping it might be a better long-term solution, but we'll look for the short-term at the moment. So you can see it's all scratched and whatever. Well, I've started to plasti dip the dash fascia, which includes this piece, which is the gear surround. I'm actually using the duplicolor version of Plasti Dip. Seems to be working quite well. The finish is coming up in that matte style, as you'd expect. So I'm on layer 3 now. I'll probably put 5 or 6 on just to increase the durability. But it's pretty easy to apply, and it seems to be going well. So we'll have a look at this at the end and we'll move on to the dash fascia.